This is a dual sport motorbike with the highest cast from Honda, namely the CRF1100L Africa Twin. The Africa Twin itself has paved the face of the earth since 1988 and continues to get updates from Honda to this day. In the previous generation, this motorbike had the name CRF1100L Africa Twin, which meant that the engine was only 1,000 cubic centimeters or 998 cubic centimeters to be precise. And in terms of sales, it was relatively quiet because the flagship dual sport segment was controlled by the BMW R1200 GS. But after Honda did a lot of upgrades on this motorbike, including increasing the engine capacity to 1,084 cubic centimeters, then there is also a choice of the DCT transmission system, so that the name changes to the CRF1100L Africa Twin. The sales of this motorbike have increased dramatically. The peak was in mid-2021 when the initial quota for the latest generation of Africa Twins was immediately sold out in just 1 hour, even though the price of this motorbike is not cheap. You know, this situation even forced Honda to immediately prepare a second quota so that consumer orders would still be fluent. The number of initial quotas that have been ordered is 400 units of the 2022 Honda Africa Twin variant. It should be noted that throughout 2020, amid the pandemic, the Honda Africa Twin only managed to sell 460 units. Meanwhile, from 2018 to 2020, there were only 1,530 orders for the Honda Africa Twin. Even though in the same period, the BMW R1200 GS was recorded as selling 9,942 units. The question is, what's so special about this CRF1100L Africa Twin? The first is from the kitchen runway, which has been upgraded, where in the previous generation, which was only 998 cubic centimeters, it has now been increased to 1,084 cubic centimeters. This engine is a parallel twin cylinder, which means it has 2 cylinders with the same crankshaft angle. The coolant uses liquid and the fuel system uses PGM-FI electronic fuel injection. The engine character is overbore, with a bore stroke size of 92 by 81.5 millimeters and has a compression ratio of 10.11. The power and torque have also increased compared to the previous generation, where this time it was able to explode power, reaching 99.2 PS at 7,500 RPM and high torque at 103 Newton meters at 6,000 RPM. The power is channeled to the rear wheels via a transmission which has 2 choices of motor variants, namely the 6-speed manual variant or the DCT variant, which can be used automatically or manually 6-speed. There are also a lot of electronic features on this motorbike, namely Honda selectable traction control, wheelie control, cruise control, throttle-by-wire, selectable ABS, cornering anti-lock brakes, connection to smartphones both Android and iOS, as well as a 6.5-inch TFT speedometer panel touchscreen color display. The African Twin also has a riding mode which has as many as 4 default modes, namely Tour, Urban, Gravel and Off-Road, as well as 2 more modes that can be adjusted according to the rider's preferences, all of which are combined to become one complete performance through the 6-axis IMU, so that the performance of all electronic features was able to work optimally. Other prints attached to this motorbike are all first class, including the upside-down front suspension at 45 mm from the Showa, which can be adjusted electronically, while at the rear it uses a 79.5 mm Showa ProLink adjustment, combined with a monoblock aluminum swing arm. On the braking side, the front uses a 310 mm dual-wave floating hydraulic disc with aluminum hub flanked by radial fit for piston calipers, while the rear uses a 256mm wave hydraulic disc with 2-piston caliper, 2-channel with ABS off mode.